Warning. This program contains strong language, auditory violence, and mental nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. With your hosts, Berzerker and Navox, this is Unshackled Fury. All right, friends, we're all getting tested for stress. Blizzard bigwigs are opening up to the press, and we will do our best to recap it all right here. Welcome back for episode 53 of the Unshackled Fury podcast, your uncensored home for all things Warcraft. I am your host, Berzerker, and with me, as always, is the kit to my Michael Knight. He is Navox. Welcome back again, sir.
That's a good one. I like that one. And I didn't have anything. I was like going through my head. I'm like, God. I was trying to think of like something that Kit would say, and I couldn't come up with it, and I couldn't hit my vocal changer thing quick enough and stuff like that. But yeah, that was good.
Something witty and sarcastic and smart-assy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then later you'll go be a teacher at an elementary school on a much beloved 90s sitcom.
You know, I loved the hell out of Knight Rider, and then I would watch it with my dad, and he would just crack up all the time because he's like, you know, that car's just ruined after they just jump it. I'm like, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is real. Stop. He's like, there's no way they can pull it in and out of the truck like that. I'm like, oh God, Dad, you're ruining this for me.
When this car goes into pursuit mode, that shit is real.
It transforms.
It's still real to me, damn it. Yeah, that was such a great show. It's hard to watch it now though because it is.
Oh, it is bad.
Ooh, it is
bad. Yeah. One
bad.
punch off.
Oh. Well, enough of our other, let's say, sci-fi loves. We're here to talk about Warcraft. This is a Warcraft podcast after all, so I suppose we should talk about that. So, for myself, and I guess for the rest of the good folks listening to this show, how has your preceding 2 weeks treated you, and what's been new with you in your gaming life, Mr. Navox?
Well, you know, it's nice. I know we're kind of in a lull in Warcraft at the moment, so that's the time where I go in and I start leveling up all my tunes. Last time I'd mentioned that I was chasing down the tusks of Manaroth from Siege,
yes, sir.
And I still haven't got them because Siege was broken this past week. It was actually quite interesting because there's a thread out there that's 325 posts deep in the bug form.
Jesus.
There's a lot of people that farm these tusks, and we couldn't get past the protectors because you'd kill one and it would bug the whole instance out and you couldn't do anything. So you just had to either hearth out, and then somebody showed us how, like, you know, you could just jump up on a ledge and try to reset it if you want to. And then everybody kept coming up with their, trying to get workarounds for it to happen. And it was a shit show, and it was not fun. So this week I did all my late farming actually last night for Siege, and I'm getting bored out of my mind trying to get those tusks. I think I'm going to give that a rest a while because I'm in the process of leveling up all my tunes, and now I got my Coltiran warrior because I'm leveling up the Coltiran.
Yes.
I got him to like 63 just in the starting zone.
Damn.
of Burning Crusade of
Hellfire Peninsula.
God, yes, Hellfire Peninsula. Thank you very much. Yes, right there. So I'm really, well, I guess I'm surprised, not surprised, because I'm wearing all that heirloom gear.
Yeah.
But I really like the way these guys look in the armor. These guys look really, really cool. I know they look like pandas, like they got the panda body, but I think they look really cool in the armor.
It's just a more large human body.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, and on the raid front, we got Mythic Grong down. So we're now working on Mythic Opulence, which is... that fight sucks. I don't... that fight's fine on heroic, but in mythic, there's a thing where it swaps you between both sides, and one side is one side's kind of okay. The right hand side's fun to be on. The left hand side sucks because it gives you something you got to drop, and you got to drop this in the backhand portion of the room, and it's just boss mechanics, mythic boss mechanics. I guess I'm not going to complain.
Doing
about
their
it.
job.
You're doing their job exactly. But other than that, not a whole lot of not a whole lot of other stuff going on for me, other than leveling up and still chasing down the Arathi shoulders and all that kind of stuff. How about you? How's Warcraft treating you?
Well, not getting it as much time in as I'd hoped as of late, and we'll get to that in a second. I actually have a follow-up question for you.
Okay.
So you are currently farming Siege of Orgrimmar for the badass plate shoulders, the big tusks,
I'm farming it with 6 plate characters, yes.
Okay. How do you get past Immersius? Because I have never figured out how to get past that damn thing. Okay,
so it's actually not as bad as you think. It's on heroic mode. Basically, it's the same for both things. You overpower the instance. You run around and you kill him. Mm-hmm. He descends.
Yes.
He shoots out all these
all the blobs.
Little blobs.
Yeah.
I run around and just attack all of the black ones on the warrior because I can't really heal stuff up. But when I'm on my paladin, I just go in a direction because the paladin can heal up the white ones, and then you just kill all the black ones around the room, and you do it like 3 or 4 times. What you do is you look at his energy bar, because he has a health bar and he has an energy bar.
Yeah.
And each time you kill or heal one of the white or black ones, the little energy bar keeps going down and down and down and down and down. So about 3 or 4 of the submerges, and then he falls over. So you just eventually kill him there.
Okay. Yeah, because I know when I've tried it in the past, I'm running around and I'm just killing stuff and killing stuff and killing stuff, and it just seems to go on forever.
Yeah, it does. That fight is one of the worst. It's not one. I don't want to say it's one of the worst. That one's a boring one in that instance. And then there's the only other one that you're really on a time crunch for is the, what do you call it? The spoils, the Pandaria spoils room, where you have the 4 quadrants, and you got the goblin going, is this thing on? And it's like, and you run down and you have to open up all the crates. You break open all the crates, and then you have to jump up, run across the other side. It takes me, what sucks is if I'm really, trying, it took me an hour to do it on my main character.
Oh, hell no.
The other night. I think I was putzing around. I think I was doing a lot more of YouTubing and Twitter and stuff like that, but I had recorded it on, I put it out on my YouTube. If you just go out, like, oh yeah, that's the other thing. I'm going to start putting stuff out on YouTube.
That's a big announcement.
So it's not really a big announcement. It's just, I was just doing like relaxed, like I fall asleep in front of YouTube at night. It's something, I'll put something on, like there are these channels, and they have these cameras on gimbals, and they walk around, like they'll walk around parks, or they'll go for drives and stuff like that. And I put it on, and I'm like, that is so relaxing. I'm like, well, I know that streaming without a camera and interacting with a chat room is not that great to watch for a stream, but I imagine there's some people out there that like the gameplay sounds of a video game to fall asleep to, and that's the audience. I'm targeting the audience that wants to fall asleep in front of YouTube. Basically,
you're trying to pioneer your own brand of ASMR videos.
That's exactly it.
Good for you.
So I put on no cam, chill stream, in-game music only. I don't put any of the other stuff on. I make sure no windows open, so it's just straight game stuff. Because there's a lot of fun music in WoW. There's a lot of fun environment. Like you could just sit in a tavern and listen to that, and I don't know, but.
Which you're listening to now if you're listening to this show. There's a little tavern music on in the background.
That's right. Love it.
So thank you for that. I'll have to try that at some point. But as far as regular activity for me, my life has been consumed by real life and baseball playoffs going on with my progeny, which continue. And the season should have been over like a fucking month ago, but because we had all this weather going on, they've delayed and postponed, and all this other nonsense. So we're still playing baseball in
Wow.
June.
That's hot. Really hot outside too. Like,
oh my! Well, yeah. I mean, it's 90 something going on right now.
Jesus,
and
that's terrible.
We're recording here Sunday afternoon. We got a couple hours and we got to head to the game. And I don't know. The season was supposed to be open in April, and it's now June. We're still playing. If they win tonight, there's still more games and more practices. And I'm like, my God! Like at some point, I have to reclaim my life. Oh, kids.
That's awesome.
But yes, got a little bit of raid time in, not as much as clearly I would like. But the thing that I did get to do a little bit of, which was pretty fun, was I started, of all things, leveling up a hunter with my son.
Oh, that's cool.
And we kind of played through a few things, and you were right about the heirloom gear. It's so easy now with the heirloom gear and the quote-unquote chauffeur mount, and you're just bombing from place to place to place. But he and I were having a lot of fun doing that, and I'm slowly, because we play off and on every once in a while, and now this is this is trying to pass it to the next generation, and here here is your legacy. You must learn how to play and not be a keyboard turner or a clicker like your dad. Like, you be better. You do things that are supposed to be done. Here's a macro. Learn how to do these things. So yeah, we're slowly trying to go down that route, and I've actually had more time doing that, trying to run some amount of dailies to get my artifact power jammed in there, because I know we're gonna need more of it coming up in 8.2, and we've got people on my raid team harassing other people saying, get in there, get your stuff done, and I feel super guilty because I'm not doing as much as I should be, but I'm doing what I can, and that's how that goes, and c'est la vie. But we do have some things coming in this week. Like you said, it hasn't been a super exciting, wild week of news like we had last time with cinematics and all kinds of stuff going on.
Right.
But we did have some other things happen this week. A couple of interviews that went down. We want to talk about those. You and I have sort of the part 2 adventures in classic Warcraft Collector's Edition bullshit.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that and some other classic news. But first, we have a very important rage topic to talk about this week. So why don't we go ahead and dive into that? Let's rage. So as podcasters in the Warcraft community, we certainly support any and all activity that comes along with our beloved game. Now, you and I might not always devote as much time as is needed to watch every single stream of every single thing that goes on out there. We have PvP, we have the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, we have other streamers that are out there. There's all kinds of stuff. If you want to see Warcraft in its glory, not just in game but out of game, there's all kinds of outlets for that. And one of those, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, is about to have their spring finals coming up this week. In fact, on June 6th will be the first day 1, and June 8th will be day 2. But here's the problem, Nav. Here's the problem. On day 1, it doesn't start until 11 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on a Thursday, on a school night.
Yeah.
Day 2, Saturday, 1 a.m. 1 a.m. Nav, we must demand that all things be streamed to us in a time that is convenient to North America. How could Blizzard let this happen? I can't stay up that late. I have things to do, like sleep and go to work.
Forget work. I've got to call in sick those days to watch those things. Like, seriously, I'm going to tell my boss, I think my boss would appreciate it if I called him at like 4 o'clock in the morning and been like, I'm so sick right now. Why are you calling me at this time?
Well, you are even more inconvenienced than I, because you being on the East Coast, for some of these, they don't start. So Thursday, you're looking at 2 a.m. on Friday. 2 a.m. on Friday. Yeah. How can they expect you to watch that? Just doesn't seem right, Nav.
No, it's not right. It's not right at all. Crikey.
Crikey indeed. You know, this company is based in North America. By my count, that means that all streams should be based on a North American convenience schedule.
Just like the releases. They release all the same on North American time.
Yeah, let them get up at dark 30 to watch their thing. That happens in their place.
That's right. Can you imagine having to, at a normal time for us, we'd get up and then we'd watch something at, what was it, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's still like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning that time. So everybody be tired. And
yeah, I don't care if it's happening in Australia or not. It should be my time. Well, maybe our pleas will be heard. And from now on, all live streams will be shown at a time that is convenient for both California and Florida.
That's right.
Take it into account, Blizzard. All right. We've raged enough about that nonsense. Let's go ahead and jump into our news and talk about some things that are of actual value, which are some interviews we've got going on with some Blizzard honchos and a couple of other items. So let's go. Last time you and I were here, we discussed something new and shiny and exciting, and that is the collector's edition for Warcraft Classic that is going to be unleashed upon us here sometime in the fall. There were a couple of places where we found we might be able to procure these things, and by the time you and I got to them, they were sold out.
Oh, yeah.
They were sold out. Not even in time for us to get an email alert. They're already gone. And we we had that as a little rage segment, I think before. But since then, there's been some developments on that end for us. And I know that you had made the great proclamation about
that's right.
When and where you would not be buying your collector's edition. So just a refresher for the people.
That's right.
Tell them what happened.
You'd mentioned that GameStop was going to have them on pre-sale and Best Buy was going to have them on pre-sale. And I was like, you know what? Fuck GameStop, because because of the way they handle stuff in our area is absolutely terrible with pre-launches and things like that. And, I don't really like giving them the business. However, I'm going to eat crow here because that was the place I had to pre-order from. Because that was the place I had to pre-order from. And what's nice is they're not charging you your credit card till that thing actually ships, which is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
So good on them for that, because I had a buddy order it from Best Buy and they charged immediately. Like Best Buy just charged immediately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I guess they get you on the hook for that.
Yeah.
So yes, you and I both ended up having to go through the GameStop route when all was said and done. And the way that this kind of unfolded was, and this was just kind of adding to the stupid, needless consumer stress that I feel about these kinds of things.
Oh, God.
You and I had signed up for the email alerts, right? For Amazon. Yep. We had signed
for Amazon.
For Amazon, we had signed up for that. And I had told friend of the show, Rommel, hey, here's what we got. This thing's coming. And I think that he got caught up on that too. I was at work. He texts me and says, hey, did you get the email alert? I just got the email alert. They're on Amazon. I just got them. And I'm like, oh. No. So I'm pulling stuff up at work. I'm messaging people. I'm like, oh, it's up. You got to go do the thing. I go on Amazon. I put it in my cart. I select buy it now. Do the thing. It's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. I go back. I hit the thing again. Hit that link. Do the deal. Hit it again. Cart is empty. No! I go back again. I click on it again. I'm like, put it in the cart. It's still there as an option. Okay, buy it. card is empty. Yeah! Like I'm sitting at my desk, which in an office which is fairly quiet. I'm just screaming, nah! I'm pounding on the desk. And then it was gone, and then it was sold out, unavailable, the whole thing. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I fucking hate the thing, and I'm busy. I shouldn't have been texting anybody. I shouldn't have messaged anybody. I should have just bought the thing and just said to hell with it. But that's what we did. And I was out. And I was really bummed. I was like, son of a bitch, I'm not going to get this thing. You know, but it also tells you how random this was happening, right? Is that it was like 2 o'clock in the middle of the day, at like 2:01 or something like that. The email hits, and then 5 minutes later, the thing's gone. You know, that's how quickly it happened. Then later, I am on the Twitters, just scrolling around, and I see a friend of ours by the name of Allie. She hosts Dungeon Fables, which is also a great podcast. For anybody who's never heard of that one, feel free to give it a listen. And she had tweeted out that, hey, I have secured this thanks to another gentleman, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Star something. Michael Gaines at Star Mike. And he had put it out that they were available on GameStop, and I was like, oh my God. And then I saw Seraphis. I just got mine. I'm like, oh shit. So I went, I didn't say anything to anybody. I pulled up my browser. I paid for it, bought it right then and there. Well, I didn't pay for it because, like you said, they didn't charge a credit card. But I got all the info in there, and I bought the damn thing. And then I messaged you, and I was like, go, Nev, go. And you were like, no, but it's GameStop. I said, yes, but it's Warcraft. No, we got to do it.
I was sitting on the sofa. Yep.
I was not going to let you not buy it. It's just, peer pressure's a bitch, man.
Oh, yeah. I wanted it, too, so it wasn't, you weren't exactly twisting my arm, but, yeah.
Well, that's the thing, because at some point, and especially for you, where you're not like me, where I'm trapped by all of this, and I have to engage in all of this needless purchasing. You actually have the willpower to say, you know what, this is not something I want, or this is something that I do. And you had said many times that this is something that you legitimately wanted, and as somebody who actually rated it when it was live.
Yes.
I mean,
that's why I wanted it. Yep. Yeah. I
mean, you have more of a right to it than certainly I do, because I came in 3 months after Burning Crusade launched. I wasn't even there in Classic.
No, this actually was something I was looking forward to, and a part of me was like, I could probably let this one go because I'm gonna buy the mounts regardless. Like I wanted to buy those mounts, so I was like, oh, ever since I knew that I could buy those mounts in the Blizzard store, I was like, oh, I don't really have to get this thing.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? It comes with a lot of other cool stuff, and that statue, because if you just went off of the mounts, which are going to be, what is it, $25 for the mounts?
Yeah.
Which means a statue, is you're like $75 for that. But it's not only that, you're getting some of the artwork stuff, and you're getting a mouse pad. I mean, I'm probably not even going to use the mouse pad. I'll probably put it up on the wall or something, or mount it somewhere. I don't actually collect the collector's editions of Warcraft, so I probably will get the next expansion. I'll probably end up doing the same thing. I'll probably end up getting the collector's edition in the next expansion, because I did end up getting the Battle for Azeroth collector's edition thanks to Blizzard, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, and I really like that, and I think I'm going to be a collector's edition from here on out, but I'm not going to go back and try to collect the old ones. I'll just, because I wasn't interested in it at the time then, but going forward, I think I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
So,
I've bought every one that I've been able to be a part of, so I'm sucked in. I can never go back. But yes, we managed to get our hands on, or at least financially our hands on, a classic collector's edition. So we will be getting those. I'm sure we will have a nice little review once we have them in our hands. It sounds like, I think October was about the time when those will be coming out. And if you're still looking for yours, listen, just keep your eyes and ears out. Look for these things to go live on Best Buy, Amazon, GameStop, wherever. I know with Amazon, I still have an email alert signed up, so as soon as I see it, I'm going to blast it out there on Twitter and say, hey, it's up. You got 10 minutes. You better go, or 5 minutes, or whatever.
Yeah.
Run. Get to your wallet. But, yeah, I'm happy to be done with that now, and I'll just look forward to getting it. So, speaking of Classic, we also had a couple of items this past week or so related to the Classic beta, specifically that stress testing was going on. Back on May 22nd, May 29th, they had this stress testing where basically it wasn't just the people who have the Classic beta access right now. It was opened up quite a bit to try to jam as many people as they could onto the Classic server or servers or however many they have going on. I know I got access. Did you get access to this as well?
I did. I got access to it. I did not partake in it because I wasn't able to log in, which is fine. I wasn't able to log in. I actually was I was busy leveling up a tune. I couldn't log in, and I was watching it. I did watch it, a couple of the streamers, and it was crazy. Like, I watched how many people were just there at Northshire Abbey, just spawning in and just running around questing and doing whatever. It was crazy to see how many people were there. But the more I look at Classic, I keep saying I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. I'll probably end up playing it at some point, dabbling in it a little bit. It looks fun. It's just if not anything else, just to annoy the diehard Classic people who are like, oh, now the live people want to come play our Classic game.
Everybody wants in.
Off. Exactly.
Let's all just do it again. I also got the stress test, I guess, account access, but I tried like hell to log in. I could not get in.
That was part of the stress. It just stressed you out trying to log in.
Yeah. And I tried I got home early, tried to make the timer, did not get in. So unfortunately, I appreciate the access and the opportunity to try to get in, but I myself did not get in during that stress test time. Now, truth be told, when I first found out, and you told me about this, you said, go look, see if you got access to it. I did, and it was the day before, and I was actually able to log in for a little bit and kind of poke around.
Nice.
And to your point, I was there in Northshire Abbey, and it's like watching the craziest spawning pool just going apeshit. Because you're in that one spot, and everybody starts in the one spot on the map, and it's just people just pouring out. It's like somebody just opened up the gates, and there's just new tunes flooding the whole area. It was hilarious. But for those that did or did not get to see the stress test in action, the devs were having themselves a damn good old time because they were rolling out Ragnaros, Onyxia, Sethune, like a whole bunch of baddies were coming and just wrecking stuff. Apparently there was some paladin tune. They were just dragging people all around the zone just for shits and giggles. I mean, it sounded like
you could drag mobs afar. I forgot how far you could drag mobs in Classic.
Oh,
you can drag them clear across the zone. I love that. So
yeah, I think that was one of the things people used to do with the Nightmare Dragons. You snag one,
drag them all the way into Stormwind.
Yeah,
you can drag them all the yeah.
Welcome back to Vanilla, folks. So yeah, it sounded like it was a pretty good time, and hopefully they got everything that they needed. It sounded like they did for the most part. And listen, you just kind of have to keep a lookout on your account to see when you have access to these things. I know a couple of people are like, I don't know if I did or if I didn't. And the way that you can tell is that if you go into your sort of Blizzard launcher, there is the bottom portion of it where it says region/account, and it'll tell you, like right now for live, it says Battle for Azeroth with the big play button. If you click on the one that says Battle for Azeroth, you can look up, and there'll be different options there if you have access. So, for instance, we had the Classic beta stress test is what it said. That's not actually even listed there anymore. They took that down. So now that that's done, our accounts don't even have access to that anymore, which is okay. I will admit, like yourself, I do feel my interest gaining in wanting to try it out. And I know, because I know myself well enough, I'm going to get bored with it because I like the creature comforts, but there is that sort of FOMO thing where it's like, man, I see like a dueling tournament going on today that's being hosted for a bunch of cash, and there's all these other things going on. I'm like,
I was watching that before. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to check it out now and screw around. So anyway, those tests have now been conducted. I don't know that we have any updates on when those will be happening again in the future, but honestly, we're 2 months away. So, we're in June now.
Yep.
It's in August. We're not that far off. So once we get it, it is part of your subscription. So if you are subscribed to World of Warcraft, you will get Warcraft Classic for free. And I guess we'll all dive in together and take the slow slog to 60. In more recent news, we have had a couple of interviews lately with two of the big honchos for us as far as Warcraft is concerned. One being J. Allen Brack, who's essentially the head of Blizzard at this point, and Ian Hazzikostas, who is the lead on World of Warcraft. For J. Allen Brack, he spoke with VentureBeat about a whole variety of topics. He covered sort of the time of him taking over and the difficulty of that transition, especially with the layoffs and everything else that happened at that time. He spoke on a variety of topics, which I thought were pretty interesting. But for you, Navox, having combed through this, is there anything in particular that sticks out to you that you found of interest?
Yeah, there was one thing in there, and I'm only coming from a Warcraft perspective. There's a lot of information in this article, and I think everybody should go out there and read it. But one thing that stuck out at me was the fact that he said, we could have made Argus its own expansion altogether. Like that could have been. That's kind of crazy to me, because for us to go through, it was just another zone for us.
Mm-hmm.
But there's that comic book that appeared a year ago of showing Anduin on a spaceship, going to chase down the Burning Legion one more time. So it's like
when he's like old.
When he's older,
yeah.
Exactly. So maybe, just maybe at some point, we'll go back there. Also, the whole, I'm okay with actually going back and maybe revitalizing some of the other zones and maybe get to some fruition with the storyline of we went in, for example, Mists of Pandaria. It was touched on in the article about Mists of Pandaria and how we went in, and if you remember, before we actually did anything in the I'm sorry, I blank every time. I blank out with the zone names, but the main zone where Siege of Orgrimmar is right outside of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. It was lush, and it was really, really pretty to be there. And then once the Shah landed, everything got destroyed. Yeah. Well, it's been a while, so and we destroyed all of that stuff. We took care of the Shah. We took care of Garrosh and all of that. I would be okay going back and seeing, hey, look, the land's all better. Hey, look, it healed up. Hey, look, it's sad that we go in. It's sad that it mimics somewhat of a reality where we step foot into an area and completely decimate it and then leave it the way it is. It's like,
that's what we do best.
I don't know. Can't we just go back and see some of these other zones? But no, it was nice to see him talk about maybe retouching it and how, all of the games in the Blizzard environment, in the Blizzard family, are important. And WoW is, I know people are like, oh, WoW, such an old game. WoW is this, WoW is that. I'm so tired of playing World of Warcraft. It is still their cornerstone. It is still the main focal point of Blizzard Entertainment, I think, if you think about it. I know it's a Warcraft biased podcast. I know people are like, I only play Overwatch, I only play Diablo.
We got to rep the brand, homie.
That's right. But without World of Warcraft, you're not, come on. I feel it is the workhorse of Blizzard there. I don't know, to me at least.
It is. And to your point, that is something that he touched on very early in that conversation, or at least in the way the article was presented, is that without Warcraft being what it is and what it has been, there is no Blizzard the way you have it now. There just isn't, because that had to be as big as it has been, and even as big as it still is, and maybe it's kind of I don't know if it's necessarily like a Ponzi scheme situation, but you need Warcraft in that.
No, you do.
In that house to make things go, and I don't think that's any surprise to anybody. If you think about $15 a month for however many million subscriptions, that's a lot of revenue every month.
And that's the thing. Like, some of us don't even do that. Some of us pay less because we see. I do the longest subscription plan. I
6
do
months.
what is it? 6 months. Yeah, because I know I'm going to be playing the game, so it's worth it to me to pay that. You know, $76 every 6 months. So it's it's not bad for me to do that. So.
Yeah. It was interesting to hear him talk about that. The Argus thing, though, I know that caught a few people's eyes because they were talking about sort of the expansion cycles and how it looks like the 2-year expansion cycle is probably where they've landed on their comfort zone. And I think for us as players, I don't think we're going to complain about that because it seems to make the most sense. I don't know if you're watering down the impact of your expansions by having them that regular, but at the same time, I'm not going to complain.
I'm not either. I mean, I'm with you on that, and I don't mean to interrupt you there, because with the 2-year expansion cycle, I cannot. I know there's some people that can do this, and we've talked about dedicating time to play the game, but the game gets released, and it's such a rush. You rush through the content.
Yeah.
To get to the point where you're raid ready. You rush through the raid to get to the end of the raid, and then you rush through the next portion of the raid, and then there's no time to actually sit and breathe. And with a 2-year cycle, there are, like right now we're dealing with a little bit of a downtime. I don't like to refer, I got to come up with a different term because I don't like to refer to it as a downtime, more of a catch-up time.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that as, because I use that time, like you said, to level up because I have a lot of characters and I just enjoy playing it. But anyway, I digress. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead and continue with that.
Well, I was just going to say, with the Argus expansion idea, that's something that obviously we've kicked around, that's been around in the community for quite a long time, because we knew it was out there, that there was this planet, there's Argus, there's this history with all of our Draenei and all of that jazz with the Burning Legion, and we knew that there was something somewhere. And even in this interview, yes, they decided to go with the sort of patch size version of Argus as opposed to the expansion size version of Argus, but it's not a dead issue for them, it sounds like. The idea of an Argus expansion still exists.
I think I'd be excited to see it, because it goes in. We had a discussion, and I forget what Discord show we were having a discussion in. There was something that got brought up regarding the Vindicar, and like why did Sylvanas get away with the burning of Vindicar when we have a fucking spaceship that we could have used? Like, why are we
In the burning of
fighting
Teldrassil?
sticks and yeah, I'm sorry. Why are we dealing with the sticks and stones when we have a spaceship that we could have just melted her with?
Yeah, where is that?
It's like, where is? It's like parked out in space somewhere. I don't know. It's out of.
That is a great question.
It runs off of feelings or something. I don't know. I don't know. But we still got the big ass sword, and then we got yeah. So
interesting. You make a good point. Yeah, why are we allowing a giant tree to get burned down when we have a galactic ship that could level all kinds of things?
Anyway, but yeah, but it'll be, it's nice. I want the storyline to be a little bit circular, where it just, we keep coming back to things and keep revisiting things. Illidan, we'll see him again someday. It's kind of like, that was their version of almost, well, not really, because some of these characters do stay dead. But, Illidan's gone away for a little bit. He'll come back at some point, and it'll probably be another Burning Legion thing, so...
Well, if they do bring Argus back, I mean, it certainly was set up in a way where Illidan's not dead. He's just fighting Sargeras for eternity, which... I don't know. That can't last forever. I don't know. I don't think that's truly the fate of this character, because they spent a lot of well-crafted time bringing it back, so... I don't know.
Yeah.
It does not sound like it's a dead issue, and I doubt that he would say that much about those ideas if that was not something that was still in the works.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, well, that will be very interesting to see. The other kind of cool thing that he mentioned that I wanted to get your thoughts on was that he mentions how they were thinking about the 15th anniversary stuff that we've already talked about, but they've also talked about the 25th anniversary.
God.
Nav, what do you think the player base should get, or at least have an option to get, for a 25th Warcraft anniversary?
I don't know, a theme park. Like maybe they'll work with Universal Studios or Disneyland and open up a Warcraft theme park. I don't know, but 25. I mean, God, that's
10 more
that's
years. I don't even know if I'll be alive.
No, of course. Come on. Yeah, I mean, it'll be crazy because, you know, we'll be we're gonna be old men someday, like really, really old, and we're gonna be like, we're still playing World of Warcraft, and nothing else came out and killed it. Like, there's no WoW killer. Like, World of Warcraft is its own thing. I can't think of it.
The only thing I could think of was like a bronze statue of Chris Metzen and Mike Morhaime making out. with Samwise Didier sort of laying on his side very sexily in front of them.
I wouldn't mind, and I think they probably already did this, but they probably already have it, and I haven't even looked because I'm that bad of a person. I don't know, but the statue that sits out front of Blizzard with the orc on the wolf. Yeah, did they sell that? Was that something that they sold?
Wasn't like that was the 10th anniversary thing?
That was the 10th anniversary. I was like, huh, I don't know. Maybe. I
want the Varian one, but that goes without saying.
That would be. You know, that would be something to have like a whole montage of just all of the like statue, like
a diorama.
Busts. Yeah, like a diorama of all of the busts of the statues of the characters. Like I don't know.
That would be pretty sweet.
But the fact that we're getting this gigantic Ragnaros statue in a 15th, I mean, that means you need something much bigger in the 25th.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, 10 more years, we'll find out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other interview that we mentioned was Ian Hazzikostas talking with Forbes, which it always cracks me up when we have Warcraft interviews in Forbes because I never really think about that being the outlet or the appropriate outlet for us. But nonetheless, he had a very lengthy interview with them, and I encourage you folks to go and read both of them. This one in particular was pretty long.
Yeah.
And he covered a wide variety of topics, but the main one being how patch 8.2 is essentially the Mr. Fix-It patch. That this is something that they've been working on in an attempt to fix all of the issues that people have been having with Battle for Azeroth. And having read through it again yourself, Nav, what sticks out to you in this one?
Well, that's the reason why I got, I pushed myself to get to level 50 on this Heart of Azeroth, because I'm looking forward to see what happens next. What's nice about it is that he said regardless if you don't have your neck maxed out, when you log in, you're going to be sent on a quest to go talk to, I forget the name of the character, but it'll make your neck automatically level 30. It'll unlock everything so you can use the Azerite power.
Well, that would be Magni, wouldn't it?
Magni, that's it. Yeah, Magni. So there's that. And then also, I always look forward to the patches. What I'm not looking forward to is this rep grind that we're going to get, because I really want to unlock flying so bad.
It's coming, baby.
That, and also the mega dungeon he mentioned. Really looking forward to that, which is like a party of 5. That'll be something you could do on off nights where you're just like, hey, you know what? You want to go do a raid size dungeon with your friends like Kara and things like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's being dubbed one of the biggest patches ever.
Yeah.
In that we have 2 lands, Nazjatar, Mechagon. We have the revamp of the Heart of Azeroth system, which you've talked about. The Mechagon Mega Dungeon, and the Eternal Palace raid. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's... And all the various shit that goes with it. And what's being described with some of this is, think Timeless Isle. Mm-hmm. And think... what's the other one? In Warlords of Draenor. The Tanan Jungle.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Yes,
kind of that vibe.
That's right.
We're building bases. We're going to have bodyguards. We're going to talk about that in a second. There's the Pathfinder stuff going on, which they have assured us will not require a dungeon or raid component, which I'm very happy about. Let's just
a lot of rep.
Just get the rep and do the world boss stuff or world quest stuff or whatever. Just stuff I can do on my own. That's fine. And I'm good with that, but the main thrust is that they are trying to address the player concerns that have been raised up to this point. So we're getting all of the good stuff that normally comes at this time. New raids, new dungeons, new lands, those kinds of things, but also the system enhancements. With the changes to the Heart of Azeroth system, as well as the addition of the essences, which are essentially going to work like the old glyph system that we had, and it sounds like also a little bit of the old Legion Legendary level of power type stuff.
Right.
From what you've seen so far, do you think that the changes that Ian talked about and the stuff that we've seen elsewhere is going to be enough to, let's say, re-engage people that have kind of checked out on some of these issues?
Oh, yeah, because they're bored of what the current is. You know, the people that I believe that are bored and they're just like, oh, they're going to make the most ruckus out there on the forums. And they probably have one character. They probably level that character up. They probably rush through all the content. And now they're just sitting there going, why isn't there any content to do? Well, you know, you rush through it. I do think this is going to invigorate the game again, invigorate those people that are playing it. And it'll last us till the end of the expansion. Because we're going to see the next expansion at BlizzCon. You know, it'll be there. We're going to get the end of the story, and we'll see what we're going on to next. You know, why wouldn't we have the expansion announcement at BlizzCon? I mean, it's, you know.
Well, as we talked about last time, there's no Gamescom appearances by Blizzard at this point. So,
right.
I mean, this is it.
Yep. So I think this is going to get a lot of people back into playing the game. It's going to give a lot of people things to do because everybody's going to want. They made some really cool looking mounts. Everybody's going to want those mounts, and in order to do the mounts, they're going to have to participate in, you know, these island things with the gnomes and the goblins, and you know, they made it very Borderlands type, and I enjoy that kind of. I like the whole steampunk theme, so it's going to be very, very enjoyable to do. I might even level a gnome. Oh my god.
Whoa.
I know. Just to get that armor, just because that armor looks really cool.
If Frasley listens to this episode, his head's going to fucking explode.
I know.
Gnomish influence. I never thought you would fall victim. But
I know. Apparently they make the best warriors too. If you go out there and look at the stats on Wowhead, it's crazy.
I have seen some pink-haired gnome warriors in my day, and I do remember them being quite a sight. Well, a couple of the other things that Ian mentioned that I wanted to ask you about, one of them being there is going to be, as they're describing it, a sort of experimental underwater raid boss in the Eternal Palace raid. And the way that they've described it is you're kind of moving to different platforms and you're going after, if I understand it correctly, this kind of eel-like situation, and it's jumping out of stuff. Do you think that there is ever a way in which underwater movement will ever be good in Warcraft? Is it possible that they've found the secret sauce that's needed to make that work, or is it just always going to be just awkward and ugly and three-dimensional shit?
No, it was during Cataclysm. We were under the ocean.
We had Vajir.
Vajir.
That whole zone.
And that wasn't. It really wasn't that bad. Questing
people hated it.
I know, but to me, I guess I didn't really mind it all that much. But because there was one point where you could run along the bottom. I raided in. Oh, here we come, old man Nav. Here we go. So I raided in EverQuest, and we had underwater. We had an underwater raid, and it really was awkward as fuck to raid in that when you had the X, Y, and Z axis of, you know, going up, going down, you know, trying to keep yourself positioned on the boss, and then the boss moving all around. It just, that is awkward, and it is not. To me, that wasn't that fun. Yeah. But as long as you're on the ground in some fashion, I like what they've done with this instance with the way it looks like the ocean has opened up, and it looks like, you know, you've got this wall of water just falling down. Yeah. And it's almost like, God, there was I forget what I saw recently with it, where there was just something sci-fi related that I saw. I don't know. But it's just real interesting to see. I'm really excited to see this new raid zone. Anything better than Battle of Dazar'alor at this point. Not to rag on it too much, but I'm getting a little burnt out on that one.
It happens to all the best. You know, eventually we've been there for too long. You know, I'm thinking about these underwater boss situations. One of the ones that I have thought of, which wasn't underwater, but it was still the same kind of mechanic, was way back in Wrath when you had to fight Malagos and you had to get on the back of a dragon, and you still had to negotiate that three-dimensional space. And man, it was awkward as hell. I hated that thing. So hopefully we'll see an improved version of these kinds of mechanics. And when the time comes, you and I'll run through all these on this show, and we'll talk about different bosses and kind of what's going on, and we'll certainly give our impressions. So maybe they figured it out. But the last thing in Ian's interview with Forbes that I wanted to touch on was he mentioned the bodyguard system that will be employed in 8.2. And this is something that Blizzard they've done a couple of times. We've had various versions of bodyguards. I know the one that comes to mind for me was in Warlords of Draenor, and we had all those followers, and you had different people doing different things. You even had you got to a point where some of them got in the way, so you had a bodyguard shrink toy, and I don't know. I personally have never been a big fan of the whole bodyguard thing, even when you had ones that were kind of cool. I found that they were, I don't know, more of an annoyance, even though they can't do anything but help you. But I was never really that enamored with the system. Did you like the ones that we had in the past? Have you taken a look at this proposed one that's going to happen? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you have to partake in this because this is part of how you're going to get the rep. The other past bodyguard things, I don't really recall. Actually, I don't recall ever using them in Mists. I don't.
I don't either.
I really don't. Like,
he talks about that in the interview, and I'm like, I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember doing any of that. I think it was if you had an alt and you weren't able to do something, you got this bodyguard, and the bodyguard would go with you or something like. I have no like. I'm Gandalf. I have no recollection of this place. Like I don't remember it at all.
I have no memory of these bodyguards.
That's it. It's like, but I'm gonna do it because this is how you get the rep. So we'll see how it works and go from there.
Well, how about this then? For the bodyguard system, I know the thing that I always thought would be really nice would be either to have a tank to just kind of take the attention away, at least something that can hold some kind of threat, or even more importantly, just a pocket healer. Just a bodyguard
as long as it's better
than
Velen, sure.
Yeah, just throw some shit on me, sprinkle some light on me, heal me up every couple of seconds. Yeah, I'm cool. You can just go in and just crush things.
Yeah, that I'm down for that. I like that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what comes with this, and it will be.
Oh, I do remember it now. That's right, because we had this with in Legion. We did this, and I remember running around with okay. Now I remember. Yep. Because I didn't remember in MOP. I remembered it in Legion because I had one that was a demon hunter, and it would follow you around, and you could tell it, oh, you're gonna tank, so and then it would pop out every once in a while, and it would show up, and it would start tanking. So yes, I do remember that.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while, it would show up. So
it's just a part-time bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a mention here that it essentially was going to work similar to the Mist version where you would have a bodyguard choice, so you could pick one every day, and then you will level up this bodyguard, and you'll get perks along the way. And so there is, at least to some degree, a robust system being built around these bodyguards. I hope it's just in terms of gameplay, I hope it's just more compelling, I guess, than what we've had in the past, because I don't know. I remember leveling up the ones in Draenor and doing some of those things, but I don't really remember being like, oh, I really love this part. So.
I know, and you're gonna have to level up all three of them. It's not just like I feel like doing this one and I feel like doing this. You're gonna have to level up all three of them. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what it's like, and who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe patch 8.4 will be the bodyguard fix-it patch. We'll get legendary bodyguards.
Yeah.
All right, so those two interviews, Ian Hazzikostas with Forbes, and the one we talked about earlier, J. Allen Brack with VentureBeat. Two really good articles. It's always great to get insight from those gentlemen, and considering the point in the pyramid at which they exist in Blizzard, I mean, you're getting it pretty much right from the source of all sources. So take a look at those. They are some pretty good reads, so you'll want to take your time, but highly encourage all of you to check those out.
I bet you we get something popped on us this week. I bet you something will show up this week. I imagine we're probably going to get something this week for news. Because you had these 2 articles that came out.
Yeah.
And now we're getting up to the MDI in Australia.
Yeah.
I imagine we're going to get some announcements because it's, June at this point. June, July, August, September, October, November. I think we're going to end up with some news announcement this week.
Are you predicting a June surprise?
I am predicting a June surprise. Yeah. Either that or just Ian and Lore going on Twitch to release something for us to do another talk or something.
That's true. We haven't had a Q&A in a while.
Yeah, but I don't know. I bet you something will drop this week.
All right. Well, it'll be after we post this show, so hopefully everybody's attention span will be long enough that when we talk about it, then people will care.
I'm gonna say that every single show, and then I'll be right at least once. It'll be next week. Yeah,
even a broken clock is right twice a day, I think.
That's right.
So. Perfect. All right, one more thing before we get out of here. The Con Before the Storm, powered by Wowhead. We have talked about this one a couple of times, and just an update on this. The last time we had spoken, they had already cleared their initial numbers, and they were going at breakneck speed. Well, that speed has not diminished, because as of this moment, as we are recording, they are currently almost at their $41,000.
Yeah.
Are at $40,835 with 13 days left to go, with their next stretch goal at $42,000, which looks like it's going to be a pint glass, which is very appropriate for the Seraphis loving crowd. I cannot believe how much money they are raising for this freaking thing. And
I know. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I'm so happy for them that they were able to get this going. And you know what? It's only going to be bigger and brighter for them in the future if they continue to do this. And with the kind of cash that they're raising, it's going to start getting some serious attention. Not that it's not getting it now, but
when they reach 100,000, people are going to get real life riding rockets in the form of a Wowhead rocket.
Yeah. At what point are people going to start getting vehicles?
Yeah.
$50,000. Everyone gets a hoverboard. They're going to run out of shit to give away. They're just going to start pulling stuff out of the garage. You're going to get this spare tire. This is a great way to have a garage sale. Maybe that's what we'll do for our party. After we wheel in the kegs of Natty Light, once we've made the $13 or $14 tier, here's some old Christmas decorations I found in a box.
Look at this. It's a little unicorn statue. This is for you.
Congratulations. Well, good for them. And again, you still have time. So if you are going down to BlizzCon, or you will be in the Anaheim area on, October 31st. So that's Halloween.
Yeah,
if you need something to do, check it out. Throw them a couple bucks. You will not be disappointed, because they do a damn good show. So Con Before the Storm, still raising money, 13 days to go, looking to get their $42,000 mark. So congratulations to them, and help them out if you can. All right. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Other than this fine program, where can the good people find you on the internet, Navox?
You can find me out on Twitter and Twitch. I'm at NAV_OX.
How about that YouTube page?
Okay, so for YouTube, I will post links out there. I'm still putting videos out there. I don't have a cool URL yet, because I don't have enough videos out there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I'll post a link to I'll post a link out on my Twitter site of the latest YouTube video that I just did. Again, it's just a little something I'm working on, nothing major, but all
right, YouTube on the horizon, and shoot Nav some names if you got them, and support him in this endeavor. As for me, you can always find me on Twitter at Berzerker Rage, and this show at Unshackled_Fury. Feel free to contact the show with your questions, comments, or otherwise at unshackledfuryshow@gmail.com. And you can find this show on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. So once again, thank you for listening. Remember to keep your swords wet and your banners high, and we'll see you next time. Farewell.